to have him print out all those things. The citations, James Austin.
Oh, sure.
I need all the information for that because
Some of them are kind of thin as far as,
well, that's fine as long as we.
buy it. I didn't drink my gymnastics.
He's the one that does all the citations through the mayor's office. The last I heard is scheduled for 29th, so if it changes, that will get changed. That poor girl changed over at Windows.
I mean, it's 7 grams, I'm not sure. Now we're back, right? So I think we're okay, we're probably okay. So we're going. Yeah, pretty busy.
Nathan Detroit.
Yeah, they could give you a good size. I know, 26. Good. Okay, so the 6 o'clock, I think we could call the meeting to order. What do you have?
Minutes.
Oh, the extra ones?
And these are the minutes, and these are the.
Okay,
I'll serve as the clerk.
Oh,
I just
wonderful.
want to get the roll call done.
all right. Okay. Here is, shoot, I'm gonna need this back, but if you want to use it temporarily for the,
All right, do you have a pen? I think you got this right here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have an extra?
These extras.
Yep.
let me just make sure I keep, 'cause,
I'm giving it to him and I expect to
I
get it
wanna be-
back.
all right.
I'm sure Councilor Hurst will be more than happy to lend it to it.
All right, if everybody could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For all.
Okay, we got a roll call.
We've got a moment of silence. We could have a moment of silence in memory of fallen veterans. We can resume. I think
Roll call, Roland Cartier. Yes. William Flanagan. Here. Nathan Freeling.
Yep.
James Gaffney.
Here.
Norman Jagir.
Nyantown.
James Hall here. John McDonald excused. William McDevitt.
Here.
Mike Beasley excused. Kyle Van. Edith Van. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct?
6, that's a quorum, just.
All right. The other quorum's established. Welcome and introduction.
That was from Nathan Freeling. I just left that on the agenda. You're still welcome.
Let's see, next on the agenda,
Could I get that back? That's a kind of a work copy. Do you have an agenda?
I do.
All right. The
Approval of the minutes from the prior meetings.
Do we have a motion?
Does everyone have in front of them the minutes from April 11th? Someone who was at the meeting can only move to approve it, and/or vote.
I move to approve.
You want to be at the meeting, though?
Oh, no.
All right.
Okay.
I move to approve.
Motion? Second? Roll call? Or all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Do we have the prior minutes? I know there was a,
The rest are of progress.
okay,
So we only have before us today for April.
all right, but that's been approved. Okay. Roland, I understand that you wanted to address the committee.
Well, the first thing I wanted to say was, First thing I wanted to say was thank you to everybody that helped me during my very bad situation. Eric LaMarche's office was supportive in a lot of ways, as well as John McDonald, who was part of the commission, Norman Jagir, and the veterans in particular. I don't know if you know my situation, but I was homeless for 2 months. Me and my wife are now comfortably back in Centerville, where I love it. And she's only 6 minutes from the shopping area, so it works out well. Because when I was on Lakeview, it took forever. And I wanted to thank everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for coming to the meeting.
Well, it's great to have you back, and I'm glad your situation is improved.
Oh, and I can't wait to get started with everybody.
Old business?
The only thing I have on old business is the question of veteran suicide, and the reason I noted it was because the last time, in the last meeting, I think the chairman indicated that it would be kind of a standing item in the event anybody had anything, any updates or any new information or any proposals relating to veteran suicide. Yes.
Can I mention something? I talked to this about my boss. My boss is the Director of Veteran Services at UMass Lowell. And prior to being a director, she was a clinician for the VA in Ohio, and her expertise is combat veteran, PTSD, and everything. And she dealt with suicides issues. She even offered to come to speak to us at some future meeting if so requested. So I just want to bring that up, that with her expertise, maybe she can lend some insight to it.
I think it would be great to invite her.
Okay, I'll get back to you with the time and date that's convenient for us and her.
Do we need a motion on that, or?
No, I mean, once he contacts the individual and finds a time convenient, I'm sure
Okay.
she could contact the clerk and schedule it.
The next item on the agenda, and I'm glad we're going to get to it because I think we're starting to develop a little bit of a backlog on these Veterans of the Month. We have a number of nominees We have, I think we have 7 nominees. And I think what I'd like to do is to just kind of go through them quickly. And the first nominee I have is Richard P. Howe Jr. Richard Howe served in the military in the 80s. I'm sorry? I did send out his biography, so if everybody's familiar with it, we could go ahead and pass on that. And I propose nominating Richard P. Howe as the Veteran of the Month for June.
Is it possible for you to read off the candidate?
It is.
The problem is we probably wouldn't know who the remaining 7
Okay,
is.
sure.
I agree, Mr. Howe should be, if you want to just do that one first. But I think before we nominate another person, we probably should know who the pool is. But I second Mr. Howe, if you want to move that question.
All in favor?
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
All right, let me see who I have here. I have Mr. Howe. I have for February Judy, I think it's pronounced Fohimath, who was nominated by Andith Van. She's a Lowell police officer, currently in the National Guard, served with Iraqi Freedom, received the CAB, and then Andith went on to say she is so humble that a lot of people don't even know she's still in the Army. She deserves every accolade we have to offer.
You mentioned her name again.
Judy Phohimath.
I didn't get it. Spell it again.
I think it's Photimeth. And I don't know how to.
Slow. I went to school days. This is the evening. I have a problem.
How many openings do we have, Jay?
We have January, February, March, April, May, and June. And I thought we could, and
Do you have 3 Golden Brothers down on the list?
I don't. I have a,
Because I nominated them and Eric's predecessor earlier.
I have what let me list who I have. I have Dick Howe, I have Judy Fohimath, I have Nick Laganis, Justin Spencer,
Hold on a second.
Nick Laganis, Justin Spencer, Joe Dusso,
There's one.
which Golden do I have? I have James Golden.
Eric, is it the father, James Golden Sr., and
James Golden, and I think there was, I mean, I don't want to talk out of school here, but I believe there was some talk that they were going to wait until Chris had a chance to
but I
have a
think
little more experience.
I think we got over that.
I didn't realize you had. These were the only 3 that I had nominated by you were, or maybe I missed something on the email, were Dusso, Golden, and then I had another question about whether you had nominated someone named Bergeron.
I think someone else nominated, oh, yeah, Mr. Bergeron came before us, and I thought he'd be appropriate nominee. I don't have his bio, but I think what I would propose is, it seems like we can consolidate in order to do 7 months. I would propose that we have Mr. Golden and his father, who's
All right.
now deceased, and his son Chris, who was all in 1 month.
That would be fine. I've got Mr. Golden down for May, and I've doubled up on a couple of months, but I have not got doubled up on May, so if you want to slide the other 2 in.
I have a question. You say Jim Golden, his bio.
Mr. Golden's been the born in Lowell, he's been the quartermaster of Lowell VFW for probably about 30 years. Eric would know better than me, but he's got a demonstrated.
But public service, I mean,
I think it's obvious, but I can collect it for you.
Possible question, Jim. One of the Goldens, I'm not sure which one, is slotted in for May, and he is the only one for May. Do you want to work through
Chris,
February? James, I think.
He would be, Mr. Golden is one of the senior, is one of the founders of the Lowell VFW. He's deceased, but I think they're both Jim.
Thank you.
What I was going to suggest was that we could go through February, March, April, and then when we get to May, deal with the golden question.
Sure, I guess what I'm, true, but I also think Mr. Dussault is, given the pool that we have, is extremely important.
I have him down in
Definitely.
April.
He served as the Veteran Service Officer for Lowell.
Yeah,
And he's also involved in many veteran functions.
He's a 20-year retiree veteran.
I have him down for April, so we could.
Sure.
February, was there a motion on Judy Foemath?
Who brought that, was that Indeed who brought that up, about Judy? Yes, she sounds like she has great qualifications.
She was a nominee of Andith Van, and what I have is that she was an Iraqi freedom veteran, still in the Army, I assume reserves, received a CAB. When she came home, she spent a few years working on base at Hanscom in patient administration. She's built up a lot of relationship with soldiers returning home from PTSD. She even went out of her way to visit families of these veterans and offer comfort and insight. She's a true hometown hero. That's what Andith has to say.
That's second. Just so you guys know, I'm uncomfortable. Any one of you nominates anyone saying that they're, I think everyone's worthy of this award who's lived in Lowell, works in Lowell, and has been a veteran. So just, I don't want to get in a position of arguing one person out of another. That's why I was trying to consolidate.
Do we have a motion on Judy? Who made the motion? Roland?
Second.
Okay. Roland, okay. Roland, second. All in favor? Unanimous. The next two I have are Nick Laganis, who was a Lowell police officer. Lowell police officer, resides in Dracut, but was a Lowell resident. Moved from Lowell 2 years ago, still on the LPD gang unit. That's all I have.
Motion approved.
What month was that?
Nick Laganis. Nick Laganis.
No, he said what month?
What month?
That would be for March. All in favor?
Aye.
The next one I have is, and I have very little on him, Lowell High School teacher, served as a sergeant in the Army, again submitted by Andith Van.
Who
His
is,
name?
What?
First name?
Justin Spencer.
are we considering Joe Dussault?
He's coming up next.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Motion and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
The next one is,
July?
no, we're up to April now.
So that was April.
No, I'm sorry, I missed one. Oh, I'm sorry, Laganis was March, and I've
Spencer.
doubled up, so Spencer will be March too.
Okay, both in March.
We vote on Spencer?
Yes.
Okay, so he's a nominee for March. For April, I have Joe Dussault.
Motion approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Now we have May, and I have, which one, is it James that is the current quartermaster?
Yes, and his father, Eric, is James I mean, the post is named.
Peter.
Peter, so I would suggest we do Peter,
Peter,
James.
James.
And his son Chris. Who,
In the same month?
yeah, so was born in Lowell, and then there's a 20-year retiree, a first sergeant, who just retired last year and presently works UMass Lowell, and he's just been elected commander of the Lowell VFW, or installed yesterday.
oh, so,
He is. Sure, yes.
so do you think could we move all three?
I would say let's have the Golden Brothers and Mass in 1 month. I think it's a good family event.
So what we're, for May, we have three Golden Brothers, or
Three Golden Brothers
Three
in
gen-
May, right?
three generations. All right, motion to approve. Jamal, second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
What I have for June is the World War I KIA, Mr. Gillis.
Motion to approve. Second. All in favor? Passes unanimously.
Bergeron?
I put him down as a possible, I wasn't sure what the status of Bergeron was.
Does anyone have any bio information? I know that I put him on the list. I believe there was a presentation last month and thought he'd be a fitting for his name. We could probably address that at the next meeting.
Okay.
We got up to June, correct?
We're through June now.
We're through June. Is the intention to go July, August, and September and have another dedication in September, or would it be like October? Is that-
I'm not sure what date we locked in for the next. I thought we were going to do one in June and one in October.
Okay.
But whenever you can schedule it with council, it's obviously up to there.
We don't have a May ceremony.
Yes, we do, May 29th.
So who will be recognized then?
All of these people.
All these people?
That's why we needed the bios as soon as possible.
All right.
And if we can, if it's fine if we need to reschedule, I just need to be able to let the caterer know, and we need to invite the families.
I will contact Andis and see if she could get us a little more chapter and verse on hers. I think the bio I gave for Dick Howe is adequate.
Yes.
And Jim, if you could do the same thing for the Goldens?
And we'll get Mr. Dussault as well.
Can you do, great, that's great.
Excuse me? What date was that?
May 29th. I think it was voted on a few meetings ago.
I'm sorry, I missed that one.
That's okay.
Go back to the agenda. The next, we've taken care of the new business, the Veteran of the Month, VSO update. Do you have anything, Eric?
Just that I'm working with the Gillis family. The date's been set for, I think I notified you all privately, but let the public know the date's been set for July 21st. It's a Saturday at 2 p.m. inside the foyer. I have a save the date waiting to be approved by the family. Then I'll send it all out. Then I'll start working on the program. And if anybody knows any honor guards or somebody, I was thinking trying to make it as special as possible. Anybody know any bagpipers or something like that? Those are the types of things I'm going to be looking for. The VFW no longer has an honor guard, so it'll probably be difficult finding that. Would it be worth contacting one of the high schools? They won't be in session.
Oh, that's for July, right?
This will be in July. I was going to approach Mr. McDevitt, see if the college would be in.
That was my next question, was because ROTC runs all year.
ROTC from Lowell.
We have summer sessions, so
And they're excellent.
would be available, but
They got an excellent honor guard.
I'll reach out to them.
But I'll
Yeah.
find out.
Tomorrow, I have a lot of help, or I've had a lot of people pledge that they would be there tomorrow to help me place flags at the Edson Cemetery for all the deceased veterans' graves. That'll be 10 a.m. at the main entrance on Gorham Street. Again, this is I've had a lot of responses here for the first time. There's been times where it's been just me and Norman putting down 3,000 flags. But I think it'll probably go pretty quick tomorrow. I am honored to say that I've been nominated for an award through the ASPA. John McDonald nominated me, and I'll be receiving that award tomorrow night, alongside of two people I really look up to, Francisco Urena, Department of Veteran Services, and Scott Hyder of Hidden Battles. I'm just honored to be a part of that group, or even considered. So, other than that, all the Memorial Day events going on, and it's still budget season, so I've been busy with that.
Bill?
Eric, can I bring you back to Mr. Gillis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I may be out of sync on what you were talking about, but can we go back to what you were discussing? You talked about a function on July 21st, and you mentioned about something in the foyer.
Yes.
What were you talking about?
The foyer downstairs at the stairs, at the staircase. My thought was, they originally wanted it out on the street. There's already a street sign dedicated. It's a busy section of the city, and it will be July. And there's probably going to be some older folks there, and I was just concerned about, their health, first of all, and then the heat, and then money. We need to get a tent like as we did before for a big event, and I'm just trying to keep the costs down. The Lowell Veterans Office has taken on the costs for the most part for these events that we have for the Veterans of the Month. Those weren't really planned for, but I've managed to work that in. So the whole goal was to get it inside City Hall where it would be free, and I think it'd be nice here. And it'd be air conditioned, and that was the whole idea behind that.
When I wasn't here at last month's meeting, but the previous month's meeting I was, and I believe that's when the Gillis boys were here.
Yes, sir.
And I made a suggestion that I would approach the folks at Rogers Hall.
Mm-hmm.
I left the meeting, and I went to Rogers Hall for their monthly meeting. And I approached the management company and the board of directors of Rogers Hall, and they overwhelmingly were in favor of hosting the function there.
I understand. I had mentioned this to the family. I gave them multiple options, and they had settled in on the City Hall aspect. I mean, I could bring that up to them.
No. Then next Wednesday night is the next meeting of the Rogers Hall board, and I'll mention there.
It's a couple months away. I could certainly sway them that way if you'd like me to.
No. And I'll mention that the function has been changed, the date has been changed, the location has been changed, and that we won't be doing it at Rogers Hall. If, however, you're reconsidering everything, just get back to me.
Okay.
I would say, sir, I think this is great. We secured that. Maybe we should just have Eric ask the Gillises if, do you know this has been secured? If they heard about it, I think they probably want to do that.
Okay, but if things change, just let me know.
Eric can't hear you.
I would venture to say that it probably makes the most sense for the sales pitch, since it's secured, as you said. If they know that it's something that isn't on the table and it might fall through, maybe they'll be more inclined to commit to it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with City Hall. It looks great. It'll look great in photos. Everybody should be happy. It's air conditioned. But with the option on the table, why not present them and let them decide?
I will certainly present that to them. I had already gone through the manager's office and mayor's office for this, but I will certainly propose this to the family, see if they were willing to change this again.
If the situation's changed, the woman's name is Marguerite. She's the manager. Her phone number is 937-3915.
What was her name?
Marguerite. She's the manager. You can discuss it with her. Although it was the weekend weekend prior to the 21st that we originally were discussing.
This is the family's request, is this
No,
specific day.
I certainly know that. You can talk to her about that if, in fact, it's changed and, you know, you're talking about Rogers Hall. If you're not talking about Rogers Hall, fine,
Okay.
you know? And I think they would be willing to host the food and the refreshments and stuff. But again, whatever the family wishes is fine.
Okay.
Certainly, there's no hard feelings or anything, you know?
No, the date was never really set. We discussed multiple dates, and I believe the 19th was the date of death for Mr. Gillis, and they couldn't get the 19th. They wanted it on the weekend to get all the family there, and I think the
Sure.
preferred date was a Sunday to begin with, and then they changed it to Saturday.
Yeah.
It's been a process of back and forth with the family, and so I'm only doing what
Yeah, but just
The will
look
of the
at
family.
Rogers Hall as a Plan B, or
Okay.
Plan C, or Plan D, you
we'll
know?
call it B.
Yeah,
At the same time, regardless of which way this goes, there should be a thank you to that Rogers Hall, and
No,
then we can.
you don't even have to do that.
Wait a minute, I'm talking
Yep.
about from you,
Yep,
telling them what's going on. But what I'm getting at is, in the future, that could be a point of interest where we can hold something for somebody,
yeah.
you know?
They're very accommodating people.
Any further business to bring before the commission?
Hearing and seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion second, all in favor, any opposed? Motion carries.
Here's the agenda and the signed minutes.
Okay, is this the one you want me to put on my?
Yeah, this is the agenda, that's fine. And here's the minutes, signed.
And you want me to attach both of these and put them in my,
That would be great, yeah.
okay, this will be the first one.
Yeah, and then I'll get the minutes from the prior, not the minutes, but the agenda for the prior meeting.
Did this say what date it is?
Sorry,
Does this have a date on it?
isn't that at the top?
I just want to make sure I put it in the right. Just give me a sign. There it is.
Okay.
For May, correct? Oh, April.
Bill, can you give me the name of that person you were thinking of inviting again?
Her name is Janine, that's Jan,
J-A-N,
Jane.
yeah.